World War II, a conflict so vast and devastating, reshaped the face of the globe. Spanning from 1939 to 1945, it engulfed nations in a battle of ideologies, leaving a trail of unprecedented destruction. Over 70 million people lost their lives, making it the deadliest conflict in human history. This war saw the first use of nuclear weapons, altering the course of international relations and warfare forever. Yet, despite the extensive coverage of battles and political maneuvers, the war still holds secrets waiting to be unearthed. So, what incredible finds still lie buried, silent witnesses to the turmoil of those years? You will find the answers in this video. The discovery of the Kohls Hill bunker. As World War II loomed and fears of a Nazi invasion mounted, Winston Churchill's auxiliary units, his covert army, readied itself to protect the United Kingdom. These elite fighters, carefully chosen for their knowledge of local terrains, were the nation's covert defenders. Their primary task? Sabotage enemy invaders using guerrilla tactics. The units, comprising locals of gamekeepers, foresters, and poachers, were trained in diverse skills, from destroying railway lines and enemy supplies to making homemade explosives and carrying out assassinations. They were even taught to fashion weapons from ordinary household objects, receiving manuals disguised as everyday items like fertilizer booklets. In 2020, an important discovery brought this clandestine history to light. Researchers from Forestry and Land Scotland, or FLS, unearthed one of the over 500 secret bunkers built across Britain for these units. The discovery, made during tree felling operations, revealed a long overlooked bunker measuring approximately 23 feet in length and 10 feet in width, equipped to sustain at least 7 soldiers with weapons and supplies for about 5 weeks. The secrecy surrounding these bunkers was so paramount that their locations largely remained unknown, as those involved were bound by the Official Secrets Act. The Enigma Machine, found in the Baltic Sea. German divers discovered an important World War II artifact during a fortuitous underwater mission in the Bay of Gelting in the Baltic Sea while looking for abandoned fishing nets. It was an Enigma machine. Initially mistaken for an old typewriter, this discovery was soon recognized as the famed device used by the Nazis to encrypt and transmit coded messages. The machine, a critical tool in Germany's military communications, played a significant role in their strategic operations. This particular Enigma machine, believed to have been discarded from a German warship in the war's final days, has now been handed over for restoration. The restoration process, including desalination after decades under the sea, is estimated to take about a year. Post-restoration, the Enigma will be displayed at a museum, serving as a tangible link to the complex history of wartime communication and cryptography. The Enigma's significance extends beyond its engineering complexity. The Allied forces, led by British mathematician Alan Turing, worked relentlessly to decrypt its codes, a feat achieved in 1941. This breakthrough at Bletchley Park was crucial in deciphering critical German military communications, significantly impacting the war's course. Historians contend that cracking the Enigma code shortened World War II by approximately 2 years, underlining its profound influence on the war's outcome. The wreckage of the USS Independence. Christened in 1943 as the first of its class, the Independence was involved in major Pacific campaigns, including attacks on Rabaul, Tarawa, Luzon, and Okinawa. Notably, it contributed to the sinking of the Japanese mobile fleet at the Battle of Leyte Gulf. After the war, the USS Independence served in a radically different capacity. Selected for Operation Crossroads, it was placed near Ground Zero for the Bikini Atoll atomic bomb tests in 1946. Despite sustaining severe damage, it survived both the aerial and underwater detonations. Following these tests, the Independence was towed to San Francisco for decontamination. In the late 1940s, with the onset of the Cold War and espionage concerns, the ship was scuttled off the coast of San Francisco, now part of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Rediscovered 70 years after its wartime service, the Independence was found resting upright in 2,600 feet of water, with its hull and flight deck visible in sonar images. This discovery, made possible by efforts from the NOAA and private industry partners, offers a tangible reminder of World War II's technological advancements and post-war strategies. The wreck of the USS Independence now lies as a historical artifact within the depths of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. The Graph Zeppelin aircraft carrier. The Graph Zeppelin, Nazi Germany's only aircraft carrier, was a symbol of the Third Reich's naval aspirations and eventual decline. Originally conceived by Hitler in 1935 as part of a fleet expansion plan, construction of the Graph Zeppelin began, intending to strengthen Germany's naval power. Launched in 1938, this carrier, however, faced internal opposition, the Luftwaffe's reluctance to provide aircraft and Hitler's diminishing interest in naval warfare led to its incomplete state at war's end. In a strategic move to prevent its capture by advancing Soviet forces, the Germans scuttled the Graph Zeppelin in the shallow waters of Stettin, Poland in 1945. Contrary to the Allied Tripartite Commission's instructions to destroy or deeply scuttle the vessel, the Soviets refloated it in 1946, towing it to Leningrad. Its fate took a dramatic turn in 1947 when it was used by Soviet forces for target practice. Surprisingly resilient, it withstood 24 bombs and projectiles before finally succumbing to torpedoes. The Graph Zeppelin's wreckage remained a mystery for decades until 2006, when the Polish oil company Petrobaltic discovered it near the port of Leba, confirming its identity with further investigations by the Polish Navy. Resting 264 feet below the surface, the Graph Zeppelin's remains are a haunting relic of Nazi Germany's failed naval ambitions and the post-war shifts in military power and strategy. Discovery of Hitler's bunker. The Führer bunker, Adolf Hitler's final headquarters, was a heavily fortified underground structure located beneath the Reich Chancellery in Berlin. Constructed initially as an air raid shelter, the bunker comprised two sections, the Vorbunker and the Führer bunker. The Vorbunker, directly beneath the Chancellery's cellar, was shallower and more accessible. In contrast, the Führer bunker, where Hitler spent his last days, was deeper, more secure, and extended below the Chancellery's garden. Hitler took up residence in the Führer bunker on January 16, 1945, transforming it into the Nazi regime's command center. For 4 months, he conducted meetings and made crucial decisions within its walls. The bunker was equipped with luxurious furnishings, including high-quality furniture and famous artworks, such as a large portrait of Frederick the Great. It also contained 2 bedrooms, a conference room, and a waiting area. On April 29, 1945, the bunker became the site of Hitler's marriage to Eva Braun and, a day later, their suicides. The exact fate of their bodies remains shrouded in mystery, with most accounts agreeing that they were cremated outside the bunker. Today, the Führer bunker's remains are largely invisible and sealed off from the public. Recovery of the Amber Room. The Amber Room, often hailed as the 8th wonder of the world, was a masterpiece of Baroque art originally installed in Charlottenburg Palace in Berlin. Constructed in the early 18th century, it was gifted to Peter the Great by the King of Prussia in 1716, symbolizing peace between Russia and Prussia. The room was later moved to the Catherine Palace in Tsarskoye Selo, Russia, where it was expanded and adorned with 6 tons of amber and other semi-precious stones, valued at about $142 million today. During World War II, as part of Operation Barbarossa, the Nazis looted numerous art treasures, including the Amber Room. Efforts to hide it behind wallpaper failed, and German soldiers dismantled and transported it to Königsberg, now Kaliningrad. After being displayed in Königsberg's Castle Museum, the Amber Room's whereabouts became a mystery following the Allied bombing in 1944. Numerous theories about its fate have emerged, ranging from destruction in the bombings to being hidden at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. In 1997, a mosaic panel of the Amber Room surfaced in Bremen, Germany, but its original location remains unknown. The reconstructed Amber Room, completed in 2003 at Tsarskoye Selo, serves as a tribute to the original, marking the 300-year anniversary of St. Petersburg. This modern incarnation of the Amber Room, open to the public, encapsulates both the artistic grandeur of the original and the enduring enigma surrounding its disappearance. Finding of the sunken aircraft carrier USS Yorktown. The USS Yorktown, launched in 1937, played a key role in several campaigns across the Pacific region. It was during the Battle of Midway, a turning point in the war, that the Yorktown met its fate. Damaged by dive bomber attacks and subsequently torpedoed by a Japanese submarine, the carrier sank to the ocean floor on June 7, 1942, resting at a depth of 16,650 feet. More than half a century later, in May 1998, the Yorktown's wreckage was discovered by a team led by famed oceanographer Dr. Robert Ballard, known for discovering the Titanic wreck. The National Geographic Society sponsored the expedition, which embarked with the goal of locating, mapping, and photographing the lost ships of the Battle of Midway. Utilizing advanced technology, including sonar imaging and underwater vehicles, the team successfully located the Yorktown more than 3 miles beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean, off the island of Midway. The discovery of the USS Yorktown serves as a reminder of the immense scale of World War II and the sacrifices made. The ship's role in battles and its ultimate sinking underscore the fierce and costly nature of the conflict in the Pacific. The Ghost Army. Comprising approximately 1,100 men, the Ghost Army's unique mission was to deceive Hitler's forces and mislead them regarding the size and location of Allied forces. By creating the illusion of larger forces, the Ghost Army allowed actual units to maneuver strategically without detection. Activated in January 1944, the unit arrived in Europe shortly before D-Day and served until the war's conclusion in July 1945, conducting over 20 deception campaigns across the European battlefields. Ghost soldiers, many recruited from art schools and advertising agencies, were encouraged to use their creativity to mislead and deceive the German army. These soldiers, in their civilian lives, were artists, architects, actors, and engineers. The unit deployed dummy tanks and artillery, fake aircraft, and sound trucks that broadcasted the sounds of men and machinery. These deceptions made the Germans believe they were facing a significantly larger force, often up to 30,000 men, deflecting their attention from actual Allied combat units. This unit's story remained classified for over 50 years post-war, only being declassified in 1996. The unique and distinguished service of the Ghost Army was officially recognized in February 2022 when its members were awarded the Congressional Gold Medal. Yamashitas Gold. Yamashitas Gold, named after General Tomoyuki Yamashita, refers to the legendary war loot allegedly amassed by the Imperial Japanese forces during World War II. This treasure, supposedly hidden in caves, tunnels, and underground complexes in the Philippines, is said to include vast quantities of valuables looted from various locations across Southeast Asia. The existence of this treasure, however, has been a subject of debate. While some, like authors Sterling and Peggy Seagrave, argue that the looting was organized on a massive scale by figures including Emperor Hirohito, most experts and historians remain skeptical, citing a lack of credible evidence. Despite the controversy, the legend of Yamashitas Gold has captivated treasure hunters worldwide, leading to numerous expeditions in search of the elusive treasure. These searches have often resulted in financial losses and even accidents, highlighting the enduring allure and mystery of this legendary treasure. The Bod Arlon Archives. The Bod Arlon Archives, formerly the International Tracing Service, or ITS, are a crucial repository chronicling the atrocities of Nazi persecution, the Holocaust, and the far-reaching impacts of World War II. Situated in Bod Arlon, Germany, this archive holds about 30 million documents, including records from concentration camps, details of forced labor, and files on displaced persons. Originally established in 1943 under the Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Forces, the ITS was dedicated to tracing missing persons lost to war, persecution, or forced labor. The archives, previously accessible only to researchers, opened a significant portion of their records to the public in 2007. In 2019, around 13 million documents were digitized and made available online, with ongoing efforts to digitize and transcribe the entire collection. As of September 2022, approximately 46% of the archives have been transcribed. Post-war, the ITS primarily focused on searching for survivors of Nazi persecution and reuniting them with their families. Today, this accounts for a small fraction of its work, with its role expanded to include a broader spectrum of research and education activities. The Bod Arlon Archives not only serve as a repository for history, but also as a crucial resource in understanding the extensive human rights violations and the systemic nature of the Holocaust and Nazi atrocities. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Don't forget to click the bell icon to stay updated with our latest uploads. Thanks again for watching, and stay safe.